So maayong adlaw sa tanan. Today is we're gonna discuss the engine of local governance, understanding the LGU revenue generation and fiscal architecture together with my group mates. So the engine of local governance. So local government unit or LGU, like your barangay, city, municipality, they need money to run. So that money is the reason why the services keeps going. So think of like this, like an LGU is like a household. So if there is no income, it is gonna be equivalent like no food, no bills to paid, no bills paid. So walay bills nga nabayaran and no services. So if your city hall has no funds, it cannot fix the roads. Walay magkolekta og mga garbage or dili sila ka run og health centers. It's because there's no funds. Because right now the reality is like if you don't have money, if you don't have funds, you cannot run anything. You cannot ask people to do it freely. So that is the reality. So no funds is equivalent to no services, no something like that. So yes. So let's proceed to the revenue is the catalyst of public service. So revenue, we all know that this is a money collected. So this is the revenue. Revenue is what allows the government to serve people. So in simple terms is like if there's no money, no services, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah. So let's give an example, a real life example. So when you pay an ameliar, so ameliar is a real property tax. So that will helps fund the street repairs. And then so another one is when business pays for a permit. If ever I'm a businesswoman and then I'm gonna pay a permit, so that funds or that is the revenue. So that will help pay city workers and maintain order. So another one is when you get a barangay clearance, you're gonna pay fee. Yeah, we're all doing like that. So that helps fund the barangay projects like cleanup drives. Yes. So, and every payment that we are paying or in every like fees or something like that that I mentioned earlier, it will help something to run. So that is the revenue is the catalyst of the public service. Remember that in every payment that you make or we make, it is helping something to run. Yes. So the next one is the dual pillars of LGU revenue. So yes, we have here the locally generated revenues and the external revenue transfers. So yes, so let's proceed to the locally generated revenue. So money collected within the area. So when we say local, it's gonna be collected within the area. For example, like I am from Impasugong. So when I say locally, the money revenue or the money that it is collected, it is just gonna be within the Impasugong. That is called locally. So the sources include in here in locally generated revenue, it's gonna be the taxes, the property tax, business tax, like that. Next is the fees. We have a barangay permits, the clearances, like that. And then the next one sources include is like the income of local businesses. So like the public market. So in Impasugong, the public market is if you have a stall there, you're gonna pay a monthly payment or a daily payment, like that. So that is also the source of a revenue when we are talking about local. So for example, For example, if you pay 500 pesos for business permit, it's gonna goes to the city funds, goes to your city funds. And then vendors, another one is vendors renting stalls in a public market, as I mentioned earlier. So daily income for LGU, that is their daily income. Again, it is their daily income. So parking fees collected by the city, so it's gonna be supporting the public management. So as I mentioned earlier, that in every payment that you're paying, it's gonna help something to run. So the next one is, let's proceed to the external revenue transfers. So this is the money coming from the national government sources, include the national tax allotment, or formerly named IRA, which is the Internal Revenue Allotment. So it is the grants and subsidies. So the example of this is the national government gives funds for building a new school. Next is the disaster relief fund sent to a typhoon when the municipality is hit. Sent to a typhoon hit municipality, like that. And the next one is budget support for the health care payments. So this is receiving so it is likely like the external revenue transfers is, this is like receiving an allowance from a parent to support from a relatives. Yes, it's like that. So yeah, that is the simple terms like that when we're gonna compare it to something. So why both are important? Why is it that dual pillars of LGU revenue is very important? Because LGU needs both services for to function well. So yes, so let's take a comparison. So if a city relies on local taxes, it may struggle because the businesses that they have there in their municipality is gamayra. And then on the other hand is, it is kung mag-rely ra po sila sa national funds, it has a less control and flexibility. So it needs to be balanced because it's gonna be equivalent to the better services. So our role here as citizens is you or we are part of this system. So for example, as I mentioned earlier, paying taxes honestly help your community improve. Starting a businesses helps you increase the local income, as I mentioned earlier, because the revenue, local generation, something like that, the locally generated revenue, it comes from a business person. So if ever that the citizens won't have any business, like they're gonna pay permit, something like this, like that, so the local won't have any income. So the next one is, following rules reduces government expenses like enforcement. So as citizens, we need to follow the rules and regulations as always. So I think I will end it here, my part, and we're gonna proceed to the next one, the pillars.
Local taxes and boundaries. So we have two local taxes, which is the real property tax or RPT and the
The next slide is about the jurisdiction matrix. Who taxes what? The matrix shows which level of government can collect certain taxes under the local government code of the Philippines. And also the matrix shows that different level of the governments, the province, cities, municipalities, and barangay have different responsibility in collecting taxes. The first one is the real property tax. This include the land, house, building tax. This tax is collected by the province and the cities. The second one is professional tax. This tax paid by the licensed professionals like doctors, lawyers, engineers, and teachers, etc. This tax collected by the province and city. The third one is the franchise tax. It is also collected by the province and the city. The fourth one is the amusement tax. This tax collected from entertainment activities like cinemas and concert. This tax is collected by the province, city, and municipalities within limit. And the fifth one is the business tax or the business tax and community tax. This includes the business taxes and community tax. This tax is collected by city and municipalities. And the last one is the barangay tax. Barangay can impose taxes but only for small scale businesses like sari-sari store, and this tax is collected by the barangay only.
Good day everyone. Today I will present to you the BN taxes, fees, charges, and enterprises. So, Category 1, Regulatory fees and penalties, permits and licensing, building permits, business permits, and tricycle franchises. So in fines, ordinance violations such as under-littering or zoning. Regulatory fees and penalties people and businesses pay for permits and licenses such as building permits or business permits. There are also fines for breaking rules such as littering or zoning violations. Next is Category 2, which is the user charges. Fees for utilizing public facilities such as garbage collection and public park use. So these are fees paid when people use public services and facilities such as garbage collection or parking in public spaces. Next and the last category is income from local enterprises. LGUs operate economic enterprises to generate sustainable non-tax incomes. Example, public markets, slaughterhouses, public utilities, or quarry resources. So its impact is a bustling municipal market can generate 2 to 5 million annually, directly supplementing the budget. So income from local enterprises is local governments can run business like public markets, slaughterhouse, or utilities. This building generate income and helps fund community services. In summary, beyond taxes, fees, charges, and enterprises is governments earn money not just from taxes but also from fees, services, and running local business. They collect permits and fines, charge for use of public services, and generate income through government-operated enterprises, all to support public services and the local budget.
And my topic is all about Pillar 2, which is National Tax Allotment. So the National Tax Allotment is a share by the national government tax revenues which is automatically distributed to the local government units such as provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangay. And it is used to fund the local services like healthcare, education, infrastructure, and public safety also. So now, how the national tax allotment is distributed? So if makita ninyo sa slide is na-added to ang 50% for the population, 25% for the land area, and 25% also for the equal sharing. And kaning tulo is nananis kagahapon sa discussion ni Ma'am Karen and about atong sa computation. So I will be explaining kanang kung unsa gina ang about anang tulungan naa sa national tax allotment. So the 50% population is this means that half of the national tax allotment is distributed to the local government units, which is based on their population size. So, for example, in a highly populated cities receives a larger portion of funds compared to a small town because it has more people who need services like such as healthcare, education, and public transportation. Now, for the 25% land area is a portion of national tax allotment is allocated based on the total land size of an LGU, and it is recognizing that the larger areas need more resources for development and also for the maintenance. So if bigger land area is equivalent to more infrastructure needs. And the last one is the 25% for equal sharing. And a fixed portion of national tax allotment is equally distributed among all LGU regardless of their population, size, and location. So every LGU gets a fair and guaranteed share. So example is a small municipality or barangay still receives funding to support basic services like barangay health centers, street lighting, and local programs. So that's all, and thank you.
Good day, everyone. Today, my topic is all about special shares, grants, and borrowings. For share in national wealth, LGU received a 40% share of national wealth extracted from their territory, mining, forestry, fishery, or energy. Example, a province using active nickel mining revenues to fund environmental programs. If a province is a nickel mining company, the government earns money from it. The LGU gets a share of that money and can use it for projects like environmental protection, building schools or hospitals. For environmental protection is taking care of nature to keep clean, safe, and healthy for people, animals, and future generations. For building schools or hospitals, to using funds to construct or improve public facilities that serves the community. Next is targeted grants. Targeted grants, national and international tied grants for specific sector, selling to big waterworks in poor municipalities. These are free funds, no need to pay back, given by national government or international organization for specific project. Example 1. Foreign donors like USAID or World Bank help fund development project. Number 2. A municipality who uses a grant to install clean pipes for the community. Next is loans and borrowing. Capital investment loans from government financial institutions like Land Bank, DBP. Loans and borrowings. LGUs can borrow money from government banks to fund big projects, but they must pay it back with interest. Important rule. They cannot borrow too much. Loan payment must not exceed 20% of their yearly income. Example, EZT borrows money from Land Bank to build a public market or hospitals. They repay the loan over time using their income. Strict debt service ceiling, a limit on how much a local government can spend on paying its debts, loans, or each year. Thank you.
So good day everyone. My topic for this report is the fiscal ecosystem intergovernmental relations. First one, revenue share and grants. The primary mechanism or NTA transferring wealth downward. Revenue sharing and grants. This is the flow of money from the national government down to the LGU. Through the Internal Revenue Allotment or RIA or National Tax Allotment or NTA, the national government shares a portion of the taxes collected nationwide with provinces, cities, municipalities, and barangay. For example, the Bureau of the Internal Revenue or BIR collect taxes nationwide. 40% of these collections are given back to the LGUs as their IRA share. City or municipalities uses this money to pay salaries, build roads, or run health center. Number 2, vertical coordination. Aligning local development plans or LDPS and annual investment program or AIPS with national goals like Ambition Natin 2040. This ensures that the plans and programs of LGUs are aligned with the national government priorities of long-term goals. For example, a province includes promoting renewable energy in its LDP because it matches the national government's goal of sustainable development under Ambition Natin 2040. The Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG review the AIP of a municipality to ensure it supports national priorities. Number 3, accountability mechanism. LGUs report upward via the Statement of Receipts and Expenditures ESRE to the BLGF, followed by the COA annual audit. Accountability mechanism. This is the flow of the information from LGUs back up to the national government to prove that money was spent correctly. LGUs must submit financial reports like the Statement of Receipts and Expenditure or SRE to the Bureau of Local Government Finance or BLGF and the Commission on Audit or the COA. For example, every year the mayor or treasurer submits a report showing exactly how much money came in and where it was spent. The COA check these reports. If they find money missing or used illegally, they can issue a notice of disallowance. The last one is fiscal performance incentives. The Seal of Good Local Government SLG rewards transparency, social protection, and high fiscal health score. Fiscal performance incentives. This encourage LGUs to perform well. If an LGU manages its finance properly, collects its own taxes, and follows the rules, it gets reward. Incentives are given for good financial management, local revenue collection, and compliance with laws. For example, a city that collects high business taxes and has a balanced budget might receive a Seal of Good Local Government or SGLG award or dugang kwarta gikan sa Department of Finance para ma-encourage sila to be efficient and dili lang magsalig sa kwarta gikan sa IRA.
Good Today, I will explain the challenges in revenue generation of local government units or LGU. These challenges is called system bottlenecks because they slow down or limit the proper collection tax. The first issue is low local tax effort, where LGUs are collect less than what they are capable of. For example, a city could collect 10 million pesos but only collect 5 million pesos due to weak enforcement. The second issue is the outdated real property tax system. It means where property values are not updated. For example, a property now worth 1 million pesos is still recorded as 200,000 pesos, resulting in lower taxes. The third issue is a political resistance, where officials hesitate to enforce tax laws. For example, a mayor may avoid collecting taxes from supporters to maintain public approval. And lastly, the Mandanas ruling, where LGUs receive more funds but lack of staff and skills. For example, they may be a budget for project but no engineers to complement them. Because of these issues, LGU struggle to maximize our revenue and provide better services. And that's all. Thank you.
So we are here in upgrading the engine recent reforms initiatives. So unsa ang upgrading the engine? So example na to, ang LGU mura siyag motor. Para kusog mudagan ang motor, dapat nato i-upgrade para kay na siya upat nga pamaagi. One is BLGF digitalization. The SRE system enables real-time reporting while local financial data analytics or LFDA tools benchmark fiscal performance. Ang BLGF digitalization is sa una ang pagkolekta gagamitan ra og papel-papel, calculator sa pag-ihap sa kwarta sa munisipyo. Karon dayon kay ginagamit na din ang app nga website like mga GCash nga pagbayad lang nimo og business permit. So kita dayon sa computer makita dayon sa kung kinsang LGU ang mas maayo mo kolekta ang resulta dayon kay dali ra matrack kung asa ang kwarta lisod na makurakot. Second is real property violation reform or RE 12001-2024. So legally mandates LGUs to update their schedule or market values SMVs every 3 years, unlocking massive RPT potential. So, our property violation reform RA 12001 is kanang ang sa una daw is ang nasa lista sa LGU sa pagbaligya sa yuta is 500 kada square meter. So, ibaligya din nila nga like 15,000 by square meter. So, dapat yun kay i-update ang yuta or balay every 3 years para kung sakto na ang presyo, sakto po na ang buwis, mas dako makolekta sa LGU para dalan suga. So, third is public-private partner, leveraging private capital to run public markets, terminal, and utilities, improving service while generating revenue. Ang public-private partnership daw is wala kwarta ba ang LGU para magpatukod sa terminal, merkado, muli na magkuhan sila, mingon nila sila sa private company na ikaw magtukod, ikaw magpadagan, pero tunga ta sa halin, daw. Ang resultan, naanay nindot nga merkado, dili mga utang ang LGU, pag kuan di pa utang ang LGU kay nanay income tax. So fourth is local tourism revenue, implementation of sustainable eco-fees and tourism ordinance to build robust non-tax income streams. Local tourist revenue kanang sa una daw is dili pa kayo kan bitaw ang beach atong kanang daghan daw turista sa beach pero walay kita sa barangay karon gimo nila tourist kanang pagbayad og 20 or 50 eco fees kada turista. Resulta kanang ang kwarta nga gagamit ang paglimpyo sa lugar, pag sweldo sa guide, pag palit og life vest dili na mangayo sa mayor mga local tourist revenue.
My topic is all about on the big pictures toward fiscal independence. So what is the big picture independence? So, para sa isang tao na financial independence, ito ang estado kung saan ang iyong inaipong pera o passive income mula sa kita o sa investment o negosyo ay sapat lamang para mabayaran ang lahat ng iyong pangailangan sa buhay. Hindi ka kailangan magtrabaho para mabuhay. Ang pera ang magtatrabaho o para sa'yo. Wala kang utang at mayroon kang sapat na ipon para sa annual emergency. Number 2 is para sa pamahalaan o LGU fiscal autonomy. Sa antas ng gobyerno, tinatawag itong fiscal autonomy. Ibig sabihin, ang sangay o lokal na gobyerno o LGU ay may sariling kapangyarihan gumawa at umamit ng kanilang budget nang walang pakialam sa ibang opisyal. May sariling kita. May kakayahan ang isang lugar tulad ng lungsod o probinsya na pondohan ang kanilang proyekto gamit ang sarili nilang koleksyon ng buwis. Ang pangalawa is sila kay kalayaan sa pagpapasya. Sila ang nagdesisyon kung saan dapat gastusin ang pera based sa pangailangan ng kanilang nasasakupan. Bakit ito mahalaga? Ang pagkakaroon ng fiscal independence ay nagbibigay ng kalayaan or freedom at seguridad. Kapag independent ka sa aspetong pinansyal, hindi ka madaling madidiktahan o makokontrol ng tao o ahensya dahil hawak ang sariling mong pondo. And the number 1 is we're gonna tackle all about now the current landscape, NTA independence or the LGU revenue. The current landscape reveals a strike reality. Poor LGU remain overwhelmingly dependent on revenue sharing NTA, while wealthier LGUs widen their gap by maximizing their local revenue base. So, ito ang tinatawag na ang kasalukuyang sitwasyon or the current landscape. Sa kaliwang bahagi makikita ang isang gusaling nakatagilid. Malaking umaasa sa NTA. Maraming may hirap na bayan ang masyadong umaasa sa NTA or the National Tax Allotment o ang pera galing sa national government. Para silang bata na umaasa lang sa baon ng kanilang mga magulang. Maliit ang sariling kita dahil maliit ang kolektang nilang sariling buwis or the local revenue. Hindi matatag ang kanilang pondo kapag may problema. Sa sariling national budget, apektado rin sila. So, the number 2 is the ultimate blueprint. NTA shares local revenue. The ultimate blueprints of local government is shifting the current of the gravity by upholding the codes, embracing digitalization and maximizing the local enterprise. LGUs can transition from the NTA independence to local financial independence, ensuring resilience and also the uninterrupted public service. So ito ang malaking plano for the ultimate blueprint. Sa kanang bahagi makikita ang isang gusali na diretso at matatag at isang moderno. Makikita rin dito ang balanse, ang pundasyon, pantay na ang suporta mula sa NTA, ang sariling kita ng bayan, paggamit ng teknolohiya, tulong ng digitalization, paggamit ng computers and internet, at pag-ayos ng mga batas sa buwis na mas madali at mas malaki ang kokolekta nilang pondo sa sariling diskarte. Lumakas ang kanilang mga lokal na negosyo, kaya nagiging independent sila. Sila, kahit anong mangyari, may sapat silang pera para sa serbisyong pampubliko. That's all. Thank you.